We are ready to rock now. We got the power to the compressor set up, got air, good to go. I hope this isn't the gun that went bad on me. We're ready to start right down here. Always start at your lower side, work your way up. Get your ice and water cut. Never rely on this being good, because this is cut, wrapped to the corner, this is cut down, wrapped to the corner. That's never going to make a good seal. But we are ready to start now. Make sure where you left off, if you need any nails, put in it. Don't hesitate to add a couple. Make sure anything you pulled free may have pulled loose, get shot. Now, some of you are going to comment, that's not the right shingle. It's the closest color, it's the right brand. It's an Oak Ridge, not the Duration or Sure Nail. I'm not sure, you can't even find that Sure Nail cellophane strip coated one. But Duration's like sold out in my area, can't find it. This is what's the closest. It's driftwood, Oak Ridge driftwood. We're going back with this. If you're a contractor, I always put in mind too, just to protect yourself. That people want to come back and say, oh, it's not the right color. Closest to, you know, because of the fading and the age, it's not going to be exact. My knees are hot, my hands are hot. It's hot out. If you put this one down and then your metal is going to be really small. You could, but we're going to put it down right now. We're going to go with the brown. This is not counter flashing. This is just strictly, God, it is so hot. The flashing. We're going to get it to about right at the edge here. Get a mark. Right here. Man, I need knee pads, it's so hot. It's burning right through my jeans. You want a nice crease in it, but when you push it in, you want it to be up against your brick. So I don't put any in that spot. And then right here, just cut and score as best you can. Right above your reveal. I need something to kneel on. My God, it's so hot. Everything is just sticking instantly. Careful not to cut the shingles under it. Get your build up, your line, your butt. No water, or water's run off, no nails here, no nails here. Here's the accordion style flashing I was talking about. You can get this put in right here like that. So there's no cut point right here. This works, but when you're going behind things, it's almost impossible to do. So what I do is using flashing. Of course, it's not brown, I know, don't hate. You extend it past. Don't do this, don't do that. Don't cut it here and then fold it, because you got a point there. You want to get this extended past your bend right there. So we're going to mark about right here and just fold as good a fold as you can get. I never nail low. The shingle weight and everything's going to pin this down. You're going to have water coming in around your edges. You don't want nails and penetrations for it to get in. And if you want to do this, you could, but it's going to hold that up now. This stuff's pretty pricey too. Should be done by now. We'll piece this in here in a minute. This cuts like butter right now. right near your buildup. You don't want it hanging down. You don't want it short. You definitely don't want a gap missing. So if you skip a piece, you're gonna have a gap that will leak, guaranteed. So just repeat the process, shingle step, shingle step. Let me show you what I do right here to wrap this up real fast. Just get your width cut for it. And then your height here. On a hot day like this, you really gotta be careful not to cut through your shingles. That can get a trim nail in it. You can seal it, stick it, whatever you want to do. I wouldn't advise letting it just stick like that because it could slide out over time. But that'll clean that up. Then when we're done, this will get caulking right here. Your counter flashing is going to go over this, counter flashing will go over that. My knees are on fire. Get rid of this piece that I got torn. Just for those that are still following along, a lot of people know, but there's a few that don't, because I've had a few tell me or ask me why we don't peel this off. This is strictly put here from the manufacturer so during shipping and storage, the shingle above it doesn't stick. Because you got to make sure these can be in a warehouse or transit and not stick together, so when they do, they're on that cellophane. That is not intended to come off. Now if it peels off there and sticks to this, then yes, that's bad. Just figured out while I'm thinking about that, see? Because I've had a handful of people ask that. I like to cut my edge going into the chimney and a clean factory edge to butt out. Not necessary. Breeze feels good. Missed a nail. It's a bit of a gap, but I think it'll be fine. It'd be like a rain channel in a sense. And that flange down is going to get way past that, but I wouldn't normally leave anything, anything further than that. Definitely if it was visible. Feet are going numb. It is so hot out. It's a muggy hot. That one's blowing through. We're going to shoot that again. There's really nothing new or you do different going up a long chimney. I mean, it's just shingle step, shingle step. It'd be a little different thing we do around the backside here in a minute. Even that seal strip, you just drop that shingle down and it's like sticking to the metal. Oh, where I'm standing, I bet it's just, yeah, they're stuck. I think we're barely going to get into that second bundle. I was hoping I'd do it in one. So if you are sticking out back here, not a big deal. Just cut and fold your metal right there. Cut and remove it. Doesn't matter. Fold it back behind, whatever. You just don't want it flaring out to where it's going to kick everything out. That was almost perfect. However, with this, my rule of thumb is I like it to go out and behind here at this point. I don't want to tear right here, because when you put your metal down, you're ultimately going to have a little bit of your metal exposed on to this next row. So it doesn't right, works right, but you want to caulk under it when you do. In this case, you're going to want to cut it to go back behind there. The other bigger issue is depending upon the type of the chimney, whether it dumps out on a gable or has just a solid bank, pours out on two sides, you don't want to dip where your metal is going to sag down over time or settle, because it'll have a pocket. You want to make it raised up or slant one way or another to get the water out. So it could slope off that way, it could slope off onto the roof. But I'll just do it to show you what I'm talking about. So this shingle is going to go butt to this one. We're going to mark where our cut needs to be. We're also going to mark where our cut here will be. If you were to put your metal on back here now, you're relying on only this much room for it to catch water. If you were to have this cut back behind there just like I just did, but yet it's going up that high, when your metal creases up here, you have that much. It's really a big deal when you have a large chimney on the backside, the part that catches running water down onto it. You want to make sure you're under far enough, because if it backs up and it comes off the side of your metal, this is kind of really hard to describe. Let me just show you. Golly, that's hot. Jesus, that is smoking. I need gloves. So I want to give it a good 2 to 3 inch overhang here. We're going to mark it right about there. Because I just cut this piece from my house, I didn't measure the distance or anything. We're going to look down in here, cut the height where it needs to be so it's not hanging out over the gable end. Okay, imagine this in here like that. You're gonna have water coming out, and the whole purpose is to divert it behind the chimney and come out. Well, when it wicks up under, or if your shingles are laying up in here, if it were to back up, which it's gonna kind of back up a little bit, if it comes off, you're now above the shingle as opposed to on it. If that makes sense. Whereas if we have another row in here, crossing over, and this is in, and this row comes across, you'll have a bit of exposed metal for the water to flow. It's not going to go up under and get stuck under there so much, especially in the freezing thawing cycles, but it'll be able to flow out and right off onto a shingle. And if it does back up, you're that much higher up behind the chimney on a solid shingle, which you will also have under the metal some caulking going up and up that shingle pushed in there. So let's go ahead and just put it in. Oh, if I would just wait like 3 more hours, there'd be a nice shade right here by this little shaded blocked section. What I do that for is so water coming off this, if it were to trickle back under, because surface tension does cause it to trickle back. You don't want it coming in. I've seen leaks because of that, so that's something I started doing. Just caulk under it, and it's going to seal any of that little bit that does trickle back. Whoopsie. That was a bit much. Make sure you get it pushed in to the corners. Damn it. Just be cautious of where your nails are in relation to where the shingle is and how close to the corner it is, because you don't want it backing up in the wintertime. Somehow I am making an absolute mess on me. Oh, actually, I'll have like a shingle to spare. Sometimes I've seen people go around a chimney like this and they have to cut their shingle. Like say if they did this on top, they would cut that. They're removing the sealer on there. So if you do, seal it, put a starter under it, or just raise your shingle up like I did. Go up one higher. It's not gonna hurt to have some visible. It will carry the water off and around better than trapping it if you had a shingle right in that corner right there. That's about it for the shingle side of things.